You hate to see it. You absolutely hate to see it. Teespring has banned all Antifa t-shirts. They've banned all of them. You're not allowed to have any Antifa logos, Antifa wording, Antifa symbolism. You're not allowed to have any of that. Teespring has shut it all down and has removed all of these shirts from its store. And Antifa are obviously absolutely furious about this. Teespring just shut down our t-shirt fundraiser. Why? Because our shirts contain the word Antifa. A thread. The word Antifa is in violation of our acceptable use policy and not permitted on Teespring. Hello, thank you for reaching out to Teespring today. The takedown notice you received is a generic automated message sent when a listing is removed for content concerns. Unfortunately, it did not state the exact reason for the takedown at the time of suspension. The listing was removed for the use of the word Antifa, which is in violation of our acceptable use policy and not permitted on teespring.com. We are working to remove all content that infringes upon our acceptable use policy and or any other terms of service. Thank you very much for your time, and we apologise that we are not permitted to reinstate the listing. Thank you, Team Teespring. And here we go into them reasoning it, and it's brilliant because they are making the same arguments that we all have to make whenever we get banned from somewhere or taken down from somewhere. I mean, maybe this will be a little bit of an awakening for them, but probably not. How does the word Antifa violate Teespring's acceptable use policy? It's not hate speech. I agree. I don't believe there's such a thing as hate speech. I believe it's a nonsense term used to categorise various forms of language and to offer a justification for giving particular forms of language more harsher and more fucking extreme punishments. I agree. I don't believe hate speech is a real thing. I definitely don't. It doesn't harass specific individuals. Yeah, not specific individuals. But, you know, I mean, it's not... I get it. I mean, it's not like Antifa ever harassed anyone. Of course not. That's just not what they do. It's not porn. Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you on that one. Yeah, okay, it's not porn. It doesn't glorify harm or violence. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Antifa is an inherently violent group. They are an inherently violent group. Their purpose is violence. That's it. They literally want to overthrow the government and destroy basically anything right wing or anything that's the wrong kind of left wing. They want to destroy. They want to destroy it, shut it down, shut it up through violence. That is what Antifa wants to do. Antifa is not a peaceful protest group. Antifa, probably, considering some of the Antifa people that I've interacted with, again, hashtag not all, but they don't even consider peaceful protest as an option. They don't. The whole like peace was never an option thing. That's them. They have no intention, at least the ones I've interacted with, have no intention of peaceful protest. They want harm and violence. They do. It's their modus operandi. It doesn't promote a terrorist group or activity. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Antifa is, in fact, a terrorist group. You can do this whole, well, we're anti-fascist. If you're against us, that makes you a fascist. Like that, right? Stop with the fucking wordplay bullshit, right? Basically, that's just a clever ploy. Oh, but it's in the group name. Yeah, well, you've hijacked the term. You've hijacked the term. You can't just call your group after a term itself and then say if we are against your group, then we are against the term, right? You don't get to do that sneaky bullshit to try and absolve yourself of any type of criticism, right? You use violence and intimidation to push forward a political goal. That is terrorism. That's what terrorism is. You are, in fact, a terrorist group. And you can turn around and say, oh, well, over in this country, we're not recognised as a... Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I don't need the government to tell me what I'm allowed to or not allowed to brand certain things, right? I try and go with the, it's went out of fashion for quite a while, but I try to go with the actual definitions of words as listed in the dictionary, right? That's what I try and go with. And Antifa meets the definition of a terrorist group. You use violence and intimidation to push forward a political goal. That is terrorism. So, in having Antifa on a shirt, you are promoting terrorism. I wish people would just go and create a whole new peaceful group. I really wish they would. I really wish they would. It doesn't promote illegal activity. Yeah, because one of the central, core parts of Antifa is never ever participate in illegal activity. I mean, the group would never encourage it, never endorse it, and not provide material surplus and manpower to help its members carry out illegal activity. Antifa would never do that. Never ever. They would never ever do anything like that at all. In 2018, TeeSpring cancelled sales of these shirts for Antifa. Is that Edinburgh? Edinburgh Antifa, yeah, brilliant. Fantastic. Yeah, I remember them. They're a good laugh. Cancelled sales of these shirts for Edinburgh Antifa because the shirt said always anti-racist, anti-Nazi, anti-fascist. They said the word Nazi in the design violated their acceptable use policy. Well, then you guys shouldn't have made the word so taboo. I mean, we're not allowed to talk about Nazis anymore. We're not allowed to joke about Nazis anymore. I mean, you've turned them into Voldemort, where you're not allowed to say their name. You're not allowed to talk about them. I mean, that's the problem. Remember when YouTube finally came over, started banning all, Nazi accounts and everything because they were looking for things like Nazi symbolism, Nazi slogans, Nazi signs and all that. But what happened was a shit ton of history channels got wiped out. They weren't supporting, praising the Nazis. They weren't even, railing against the Nazis. They were history channels and they were just reporting on, factual information from history about the Nazis because they're history channels and, the Nazis were kind of, I'll just say it, World War II and that whole shindig was the biggest thing that happened in the 20th century. So, yeah, I can understand, they're going to have to talk about the Nazis, but because Nazi and everything became such a taboo word, can't talk about it, can't joke about it, boom, all the history channels got wiped out. And it's happening across social media. You've just got it there, even though you said anti-Nazi, because it said the word Nazi, you're not allowed it. Because you've essentially turned the fucking word into Voldemort, but you're not allowed to speak about it. If TeeSpring doesn't want anti-fascists to... Here they go. If TeeSpring doesn't want anti-fascists to use their platform, they should be honest about their reasons. Not doing so leads one to speculate about what side they're on in the fight against bigotry, fascism and hatred. This is the ploy they use. It's basically calling themselves anti-fascists. It's all a tactic, it's all a ploy. Basically, they do the whole, if you're against us, it means you're for fascism. No, if I'm against you, it means I'm against terrorism and violence and burning down buildings and attacking people and arriving at their homes and intimidation and blackmail and extortion like you've been doing to the stores in the towns that you plan to riot in. Hey, give us money and we'll leave your store alone. That bullshit. I'm against all of that. I'm not pro-fascism in any sense, but I'm against Antifa. Oh, well, it's Antifa in the name. So if you're against... Shut up. You've hijacked it. You've hijacked that word, right? And you see the fact that you use it as the title of your little group and you use it as your little defence. It's actually kind of scummy. In fact, it actually damages anti-fascist advocacy. So congratulations, well done. So that's the little ploy. We want to be able to do whatever the hell we want, and if you criticise us in any way, you're clearly a fascist. Like, fucking shut up. And here comes Andy No. It's just, who's probably who was probably the last person that they wanted to speak to at that moment. And they shut it down because Antifa engages in domestic and international terrorism. Your own stated goal is to topple governments by any means necessary to usher in a new world. Antifa, where did we state that goal, Andy? Glad to see you took some time away from making kill lists of journalists and that weapon. See, Antifa, that's why nobody likes you. You make stuff up. You still hanging out with convicted child rapist Matthew Demetrius Dean Cooper, or nah? I mean, you can say all that stuff about Andy, it doesn't take away at all from any of the arguments that he just made. Just go with the ad homs. Oh, and here's TeeSpring as well. TeeSpring is not a fascist company. Due to the recent increase of violent Antifa content, we have removed all Antifa-related listings until we are able to review the intent behind the designs. Fair. Reviewing this content will take some time, so we appreciate your understanding. Antifa International, even Facebook banned the Boogaloo Boys after they killed cops. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Oh, wow, Antifa is lying. And were caught en route to a BLM march with bombs. That wasn't them, actually. That was BLM. And here's the Boogaloo Ops Teespring store selling shirts with an AR on the front and a hand grenade on the back. But it's the word Antifa that's the problem, Teespring. Hold on, let me see if there's more to this thread. Of course, by changing the name to Big Igloo. The Boogaloo Boys appear to be able to sell all kinds of shit via Teespring with impunity. The Big Igloo Boys. Oh, brilliant. Oh, fantastic. I don't know if a Hawaiian shirt would do you good that far north, but yeah. Thanks for bringing this to our attention. We'll send this to the team for further review. And then like, all these people, you took them down, right? First put the content down, then review it. Yeah, like fucking... That's the thing is, like, these people have absolutely nothing but sheer contempt for freedom of speech and freedom of expression. But as soon as theirs is on the chopping block, they start whining and screeching. Well, this is the world you created. This is the world you created where it's just, you can just get people's, artwork, text, videos, everything just taken down, at a whim. And you were happy with that as long as you were the person doing the taking down. But now that it's your arse on the chopping block, you're screaming about it. Like, this is the thing is, everyone goes, I want to create a world with, absolute authoritarianism where it's illegal for people to say these things and we can get stuff taken down from YouTube and we can do all of these bloody things. And I'm going to support that and create that system because I've got the immature feeling that I'll always be in charge and I will always have control. Well, here's evidence that you don't. You don't have control of this system. It's a horrific system, right? Where everybody will suffer under it, much like communism. But you're supporting it and creating it and fanning the flames of it because I don't know, maybe you thought you were going to have a say once the system was finally in place. A lot like communism. The people that supported communism the most were usually the ones first lined up against the wall because, they knew too much. But honest opinion, Antifa should be allowed to sell their little stupid t-shirts. They should be allowed to, if they want to. Print Antifa shirts and everything. I feel they should be allowed to sell their shirts. But this is a private company doing what it wants, and private companies can do what they want. I mean, Antifa, you don't have a right to a platform, right? I mean, just go and build your own t-shirt company.